And we welcome you to beautiful Rustler Field in Surf City, USA on the campus of Golden West College as today SportsNetUSA.net presents Golden West Rustler football. Today, a potential bowl berth potentially on the line as the Rustlers, 4-5 on the season, 2-2 in league play, host the Griffins of Grossmont, who are 1-8, 1-3 in league play. The math is relatively simple. The Rustlers win and the Cerritos lost, and they'll be playing in a bowl next week. A loss today against the Griffins, and the offseason begins tonight. Griffins won the toss and have elected to kick off, and here we go. We're underway here at Rustler Field. This one carries it to the back of the end zone, and taking a knee back there are the Rustlers, and they'll start at first down and 10 from their own 25-yard line. Was that Saval back there? No way. No kidding. Cody Saval back there handling the kicks. Rahshaun, Haylock, Ryan Osborn, Ed Ford manning the controls here on this beautiful November Saturday. Griffins, the road team with their hunter green helmets, white logos on the side, white tops with the green numbers, white bottoms. There was an offsides on the kickoff against the kicking team, so the 5 yards will be assessed. And so it'll be first and 10 Rustlers from the 30. Kelly Green for the money, potentially a bowl berth for the Rustlers today. They go with their Kelly Green tops with the gold numbers, the black matte helmets with the gold Rustler emblem on the side, and the black pants. It'll be Nate the Great, Nathaniel Espinoza, back at center for the Rustlers. Returned last week after a 3-game absence. He has Tajay Morant in the backfield, takes the snap, play fake, delivers outside the numbers, caught there by Hobbs at the 30, who gets up the sideline and pushed out of bounds just shy of the 40-yard line at the 39. And a nice play for the Rustlers to start this game with a quick 9-yard reception. Hobbs played really well last week. 2 catches, 75 yards. He took a 63-yard slant to the house for a touchdown. He puts his hand in the dirt, lines up at tight end this time, and Espinoza delivers it far side to Jeremiah Wright. He catches it at the 45-yard line outside the numbers, and it will be enough for a first down for the Rustlers. A pickup of 6 there for Golden West, going left to right here on this first possession of the game. Devin Jackson in there now at a tailback. 3 wide receivers for Nate the Great, who's in the pistol. Ball on the G in the GWC logo at midfield. Jackson gets it over center, puts his head down, and gets up to midfield. Nice carry there for a pickup of 5, and it'll be a second down. 14:01 left, just underway here at Rustler Field. In game 10, final game of the regular season here for the Rustlers. David Atencio will line up in a slot to the far side. Near side slot is Hobbs. Carr to his right, just inside the numbers with the ball at midfield. 4 wide receivers for Espinoza, who now goes empty as he sends Morant out of the backfield in motion. Everybody moved except the center, Spencer Blake. It's going to be a false start here against the Rustlers. Everybody moved, but Blake just held on to the ball. Didn't want to snap it there. Hey, we all make choices, Ryan Osborn. If he doesn't want to snap it, he doesn't have to snap it. We'll do it again. It'll be a second down and 10 now after that 5-yard penalty. They go with the same formation, 2 receivers to each side. Nate the Great standing on the 40-yard line, far hash, takes the snap, chest high, delivers it near side Atencio in the flat, across midfield on a little bubble, and Atencio inside Grossmont territory, outside the numbers, taken down at the 40-yard line of the Griffins. Stop there made by Javon Alcurdy, freshman out of El Cajon, but there is a flag on the play back near midfield. Holding against the offense, so that will move the Rustlers back even further. It's a spot of foul penalty, so it'll end up being a 2nd and 12 coming up here. Ball at the Rustler 43-yard line. Did not get the officials' names today, Ryan Osborn. You know, you're just going through the motions and you forget something. That's what happens, man, when you get a little up there in AGE. One day you'll learn, my friend. 12:38 left. Here is Nate the Great going to keep it and slide feet first, just shy of midfield. He faked the end around to Atencio and gets down at about the 47-yard line. So a pickup of 4 brings up a 3rd down and 8. 12:19 left here, first quarter. No score. Rustlers going left to right here in their Kelly green jerseys, the alternate variety, to conclude the regular season here in this 2019 campaign. Twin wide receivers, Devin Jackson right behind Espinoza, who steps out and points out the protection. Now Jackson moves to his left, 8 on the play clock for Espinoza. Right foot in front of his left, takes the snap, going to throw it, a spiral near side, coming back is Wright, jumping up and making the catch. Jeremiah Wright inside the 30-yard line and is tackled around the ankles at about the 25-yard line. It was a one-on-one there with him and Robert Whitehead, the defensive back, and Wright went up there and snatched it out of the big blue sky here in Surf City, USA. He's down at the 25-yard line. Pickup of 32 there. Jackson behind Espinoza, ball right hash, 1st and 10 from the Grossmont 25. They give it to Jackson. He goes on the outside, a stiff form outside the numbers at the 30. Comes up the sideline at the 25-yard line at the 20, and he puts his head down, and he gets right near the sticks out of bounds, and it may be enough for a Rustler first down. The big bowling ball, Devin Jackson from Seattle, Washington. They give him 9, so it'll be a 2nd down and 1 for the Rustlers. Near hash at the Grossmont 16-yard line, going left to right. 3 wide receivers. Armstrong split wide to the near side, solo. Espinoza takes the snap, number high, gives it to Jackson. Jackson on the left side this time. Stiff arm with the right hand, gets a 1st down and more before he's brought down to the turf at the 10-yard line, far hash, as we approach the 10.5 mark to play. So a 1st and goal for the Rustlers here on this initial drive of the game. They've overcome some early penalties on this drive, Ryan Osborn, to be able to get deep into Grossmont territory. Jackson hands on his knees right behind Nate the Great. Play fake. Espinoza delivers too high for Carr, running a slant in the end zone far side. Ball ricochets right off of his extended right arm. And it brings up a 2nd down and goal. .10:08 to play. No score here between the Rustlers and the Griffins. Ball far hash, going to be a 2nd and goal coming up here. Now Rustlers bring Morant into the game, and they'll go with 2 running backs in the backfield with Nathaniel Espinoza. 3 wide receivers, as Hobbs, the tight end, is in the slot near side on the hash. They hand it off. Jackson has a block and Morant in front of him, turns the corner at the 10 and slips out of bounds at about the 7-yard line, and a flag comes in right at the end of the play. So they get to Vita Tawaika, Lava as they call him, the freshman out of Orange Lutheran, with a personal foul. So this will move the Rustlers back to the 20. This was a dead ball penalty, so it's a 3rd and goal from the 20. And hold everything. Officials want to talk about this. Not sure what the confusion is there. But they figure it out as the clock begins to run. 9:51 and counting here in this first quarter. So a 3rd and goal from the 20. Ball far hash. May have spoke too soon about those penalties and overcoming them, Ryan Osborn. Morant, the lone back. Out of the gun is Espinoza. Takes the snap. Far hash. Delivers over the middle. Back of the end zone. Incomplete. It went right off of the hands of his intended target. And that was Armstrong in the back of the end zone. Coverage there on the play by Joe Mavis, I beg your pardon. And so the Rustlers will trot out the field goal unit. Here's Max Casper. He kicked all of the extra points last week. We did not see Jose Orredondo. Casper gets this one, no good. He missed it wide. He's now 1 for 4 on field goals this season. So a relatively decent drive for the Rustlers results in 0 points.
And Casper there tried to play the wind. The wind is going from right to left if you're looking at the right field goal post, right to left across, and he ended up sending it just a little bit too much towards the middle. If he's on that left hash, you got to send it to the right post. He sends it right down the middle, one pushes it away.
Our expert meteorologist, Ryan Osborn, breaking it down for you. Is it AMS or NWA? Which one are you certified with?
I like
all of
NWA.
the above. Oh, okay, yeah, nice. Dude, actually, you're your own certification.
There we go.
You made the book. That's right. Always glad when Ryan Osborn can join us here on the broadcast. We wish a happy healing and a get well soon. And happy Veterans Day as well to our partner Andrew King, who's at home watching and listening to the broadcast. Grossmont will start on the ground in a big run off the right side by the tailback Burnett. He's a big fella, and it takes about 2 Rustlers to take him down. Branch and Kramer combine on the tackle near hash at about the 30-yard line. Actually, about from shy of the 30-yard line. Wow, way back at the 26. Still a 6-yard pickup there for the Griffins. The starting quarterback, we may see 2 quarterbacks, we may see 3, we may see 4. Not sure, really, for these Grossmont Griffins. Joaquin Quintana McKinney, 6-foot sophomore out of San Diego. They go to the ground one more time off the left side. Kramer coming up from his safety position to make the tackle at about the 31-yard line, but it's enough for a first down. So the ground game seems to be proficient, at least on these first couple of plays for Grossmont. Griffins have had a rough season, as indicated by their 1-8 record coming into today. But they played hard. They played their opponents tough. Just it's kind of taking them a while to come around here. But hoping to come here and end this season with the bang as they get ready for the 2020 campaign. Here's a 3-step drop, pump fake. Now stepping up in the pocket and going down is the QP, Quintana McKinney. And give the sack there to VJ Malo and also Selu Cook combining to meet there at the quarterback as we're under 8 to play here in this first quarter. Loss of 1 there on the play. And we have a new quarterback now, Lucas Arthur, freshman out of Loveland, Colorado. So they'll rotate 2, 3 guys, maybe even 4. 3 guys we'll see play quarterback today. But if you look at their stats, about 5 different guys have thrown a pass this year. It's going to be a false start here against Grossmont. Or delay game, pardon me, against Grossmont. 7:18 left. So you come into this game, Ryan Osborn, and you just don't really know what kind of theatrics you're going to see, especially the final game of the year. This Grossmont team coming in here playing with house money. Rustlers, of course, trying to get into a bowl. But Grossmont, you expect them to come in here and let it all hang out. So expect to see trick plays galore. Here's the rollout, far side, jumping in the air and making the catch on the far sideline at the 30 is the wide receiver Hudson. But he's going to be well shy of the first down. Third down coming up, third and about 10. Actually, they mark him shy of the 30, so just at the 29-yard line, just 3-yard pickup there. So third and about 11 coming up from the Grossmont 29. That's Lucas Arthur in there at quarterback now, wearing uniform number 11. 6'2", 205. He's thrown it the most. He has the most pass attempts of the quarterbacks, completing just under 50% of his passes coming into today. 4 touchdowns, 9 interceptions, 454 yards. 6:07 left. Play clock nearly expires. Arthur, 3-step drop, delivers far sideline, got his wires crossed. He threw it outside the numbers at midfield. His wide receivers running inside the numbers at midfield. And that pass falls incomplete. It was still the intended target there. And the punting unit going to come onto the field here for the Griffins. Jake Browning does the kicking and the punting for this Grossmont team. And as a punter, not bad. Averaging just under 39 yards per kick. His long on the year is 63, and he's booted 6 of them inside the 20. 6:01 left with a stoppage on that incompletion as Browning waits, takes the snap, pressure comes, he gets hit late, no flag, however. This ball is going to dribble, taken on a hop by Diego Jackson inside the hash marks. Jackson with some room, 35-yard line, he spins, now corralled there by a host of Griffins in white uniforms. They can't get him down, however. He stays on his feet, but the play is blown dead. So Jackson maybe a little dangerous there, taking that ball off the hop. But he's able to do it nonetheless, and a nice return by Diego. So it will be first down and 10 for the Rustlers in between the hash marks at their own 35-yard line, going left to right here. Rahshaun Haylock, Ryan Osborn, Ed Ford manning the controls. Huge game, huge implications here for the Rustlers. Of course, after this game, if they're able to get out of here with a win, there'll be spectators tonight watching Cerritos and El Camino. That one kicking off at 6 p.m. tonight. So all eyes going to be on that rivalry matchup. Espinoza going to tuck it in and run on first down, comes outside the near hash and drugged down to the turf outside the numbers by Whitehead. The DB coming up and making a nice play there against Nate the Great. Not sure he really wanted to run that one there. I think that might have been a blown play, Ryan. Certainly looked like it.
And you can see Nate Espinoza's eyes as he ended up looking at his first option on the left-hand side of the field. He doesn't find it, so he finds the hole on the right-hand side. He still has that ball back, and he's ready to throw. As you mentioned, looked like a blown play.
So here is Espinoza, ball near hash. After the pickup of about 2, 2nd and 8, stretch play, Morant going far side, turns inside the far hash, and is able to get up to the 40-yard line where he's stopped there. Picks up 4 on the play. Tackle made there by Grossmont, Michael Toten. Also, Robert Duramy in there on the stop. As we approach 4.5 to play. No score, first quarter action here from Rustler Field. Gorgeous November, Southern California afternoon here. Jackson in there at a tailback now. Ball far hash. It's going to be a 3rd and 4 from the 40. Espinoza with 3 wide receivers, 2 to this near side. And looks like going to be a delay of game. So we've seen 2 delay of games so far here, Ryan. 1 on each side. Didn't look like the Rustlers were able to get the timeout. They weren't. That'll move them back about 5 yards. So what was a 3rd and 4 brings up a 3rd and 9 after that penalty. I mean, you figure game 10, right? You know how to get plays in and out, both these teams, but it's not as easy as it looks. Under 4 to play. Jackson moves from behind Espinoza to his left. Espinoza takes the snap, far hash, throws a spiral pass over the middle. Hobbs catches it at the 35 of Grossmont. A stiff for him inside the hash marks at the 15, and he's taken down inside the 10. Trevor Hobbs picking him up and putting him down. Big gain there for the Rustler tight end as he's down officially at about the 6-yard line. $52 yards on the pickup there by Hobbs. 57 yards, beg your pardon. And it is a first and goal from the 7. Jackson behind Espinoza in the pistol. Jackson gets the carry right over the center into the end zone. Touchdown, Golden West. Devin Jackson with his 2nd touchdown of the season. And it puts Golden West on the scoreboard as they lead this one 6-0 here with 3:09 to play. Casper in to do the PAT duties once again. Extra point by Casper is good. So with 3:09 to play here, first quarter, it's Golden West 7, Grossmont nothing, as this is Golden West Rustler football right here on SportsNetUSA.net. Rahshaun Haylock, Ryan Osborn here with you. And watching Hobbs take that slant 63 yards to the house last week, I was thoroughly surprised that the kid from Elkhart, Indiana could move that fast. Today, however, they caught him from behind, Ryan Osborn.
Well, it's all a matter for Hobbs on that route of how well or how crisp he's able to run it. He's on that left-hand side just outside the hash mark. He hits an initial hesitation move after 15 yards and then slants towards the middle. That's what shook off the linebacker from him and gave him that extra space to run through.
That ball kind of hung up there forever, so didn't really give Hobbs that fair of a chance to be able to take it to the house. But that spin move was a grown man move as he was able to get it inside the 10. So a nice play by Trevor, nice pass by Nate the Great. Rustlers on the board, and here is a pooch kick that's going to carry, no, not out of bounds. It's caught at the 35-yard line. I should let that one carry out of bounds if you're the Griffins.
We have a flag on the far side. They may have ruled that he made contact with the sideline prior to making the catch.
I couldn't tell if that was a flag or a beanbag, but I guess you're right. It is a penalty on the play. So let's see what this is. So this one going to go against the kicking team. So they'll place the ball at the 40-yard line. So I guess it did carry out of bounds. 3:09 left. First quarter action. So let's see who they trot back out there at quarterback this time. Looks like it's going to be Joaquin Quintana McKinney, who started this game. Remember, he went down with a sack. He left the game, and Arthur replaced him. But here he comes once again, under center, 3-step drop, delivers it quickly near side. Steen tries to spin, but he spins right into the arms of the cornerback, Jonathan Earl. And picks up 3 there, outside this near hash. He gets it across the 40-yard line to the 43. And that's where it would be 2nd down and 7 for Grossmont. Earl has watched his recruiting start to pick up here of late. Offers pouring in from Adams State, Fort Lewis, Western New Mexico, Tuskegee, and Fayetteville. But it looks like there may be plenty more to come. Also much larger schools to come as well, as the defense of the Rustlers gets in there in a hurry in the backfield. And no space to run there for the tailback, Burnett. Orodondo got in there, but he had some help as well. Selu Cook in there as well. Sele Pamasa helping out.
And I think you also have to look at VJ Malo on that left-hand side. He ends up shucking off the right guard, gets into the backfield quickly, forcing him to go into coverage.
How good is he, right? He's flashed. Remember, he had that great game against Fullerton in the opener. Definitely been a transition for him, though, as this switch has been made to a 3-4. As Quintana McKinney is hit hard. Branch came in there off a safety blitz and gave him a big-time shot, and he's still down on the field. That ball hung up in the air forever and fell and hit the turf. Looked like it could have been an offensive pass interference there against Grossmont from impeding the progress of the Rustlers to get to that ball. But I tell you what, the quarterback for this Grossmont team, Joaquin Quintana McKinney, is having a rough going here early. He left the game early after taking a sack, and this time, not a sack, but a big shot, maybe even harder than the one he took earlier, and he's down on the turf. Training staff out there attending to him now. He's able to prop up and sit up straight. Now they help him to his feet, and he's going to be able to walk off, but he is in some kind of pain. Unreal. So 1:48 left in this first quarter, and Browning back in there to punt for the second time today. Diego Jackson standing back on his own 25-yard line near hash. That was a low snap, but Browning able to get rid of it. Fair catch called for and made by Jackson in between the hash marks at the 24-yard line of the Rustlers. Don't forget, Golden West Rustler football on SportsNetUSA.net is brought to you in part by Miller Toyota of Anaheim, where service and parts is open for your convenience 7 days a week, located at the 91 and Euclid, and on the web at MillerToyotaofAnaheim.com. Miller Toyota of Anaheim supports community college sports and education. 1:40 left in this first quarter. And Zach Lewis in for his first reps of this game at quarterback for the Rustlers. He'll line up in the pistol in between the hash. He has Morant behind him. High snap, play fake. Lewis going to tuck it and run. A flag comes in as Lewis is taken down from behind. And a far hash mark at the 25-yard line. Tackle there made by Anthony Jordan. But there is going to be a penalty against the Rustlers. This one coming back, a hold. They get Spencer Blake on the hold there for Golden West. This will be a 2nd and 20 coming up for the Rustlers as we approach 1.5 to play. Our 1st and 20, I beg your pardon. Lewis with 4 wide receivers. Quickly throws it far side pass, caught by Hobbs on a little screen, and Hobbs upended immediately as he got his legs taken out from him. And there's a Rustler slow to get up. It didn't look like Hobbs, although that hit against Hobbs looked to be a nice one too. Hobbs with his hands on his hips, kind of trying to shake it off. But down on the turf for the Rustlers is the left guard, Jacob Beckler. That was Tanu that made the stop there against Hobbs. Ball is at the 20-yard line. Obviously, you've been with us all season. You know depth, not a strength for these Rustlers, especially on the offensive line. So anytime you see one of those guys down, it is troubling. And Beckler still down on the turf. They're calling for a couple teammates to come out to help him, as he's down just outside the far hash. He's helped to his feet, and he gets some help off the field. Jeffrey Hermans and Eddie Williams helping him off the field. Of course, all eyes on the El Camino Cerritos game, the Milk Can game, big rivalry. Long Beach, Milliken, and Lakewood also play for a Milk Can, if I'm not mistaken, right? Yeah, that one tied at 7, 4:35 left in the first quarter. So, of course, all eyes on that one. mistakenly thought that was a 6 p.m. kickoff tonight. But not to be, as Morant gets the carry and he's stuffed. Anthony Jordan comes in there, and look out, a helmet comes off. There's some pushing and shoving. Oh boy, not a good week for helmets, Ryan Osborn. Don't want to see that. As Spencer Blake's helmet came flying, so he's going to have to come off for a play unless there was some penalty that's going to be assessed. So let's see. A flag came in. Did the penalty cause his helmet to come off? If so, he'll be able to stay in the game. If not, he'll have to come off for one play. Seeing a little fight from this Grossmont team. So Michael Toten and Spencer Blake each hit with an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty. The penalties offset, however, they each are still tagged with one unsportsmanlike conduct. So if they get another one, either one of them, they're out of this ball game. Under 30 seconds to play first quarter. Lewis scrambling for his life. Sola giving chase, and Lewis just going to throw this one away near sideline over the head of Anthony Jordan. There is a flag, though, in the backfield. So penalty against the Rustlers going to be declined, so a 4th and 15. That was yet another hold against Golden West. So Max Casper on to punt for the first time today. Standing out his own 38 is Perry Steele for Grossmont. Casper angles this kick to the far side, bounces at midfield, takes a Rustler roll down to the 40, inside the 40, and it'll stop there at the 39 with 8 seconds left. What have you seen from these Rustlers here so far, Ryan? Tell you what, you've seen a lot of fight from Grossmont.
That's true, and I mean, it's something that we saw from them last year as well. You looked at almost the same situation. Golden West needed a win to be bowl eligible, and Grossmont on the other side really had the opportunity to play spoiler. It's the exact same thing here. You mentioned it earlier. They're playing with house money. They don't really have anything to lose by just going out and, again, frustrating the Rustlers.
So 42-yard punt there by Casper. This may do a little something for the old average there. Average is about 35 per. They go to the ground, and the Rustlers having nothing to do with it. And there's some more pushing and shoving after the play. So the officials are going to have to try to get a hold of this one. That play is the end of the quarter, but let's see. Will we have an untimed down here if this one goes against the defense? The quarterback for Grossmont is Lucas Arthur. So after the play, they get the tailback, Jarius Burnett, with an unsportsmanlike conduct. So he now has one. And if he gets another one, he'll be disqualified from this game. So that's a 15-yard penalty. That takes us to the end of the first quarter. So at the end of one, Golden West 7, Grossmont nothing. This is Golden West Rustler football on sportsnetusa.net. Rahshaun Haylock alongside Ryan Osborn. Ed Ford doing Ed Ford things here on a Saturday afternoon. Manning the controls, providing the great visuals for you here. Ryan Osborn doing double duty. Not sure just how, not sure how he does it. I mean, in awe of how you're able to do what you do, Mr. Osborn, but all the more grateful for it. Interesting first quarter here between the Griffins and the Rustlers. Rustlers go down, and they're able to overcome some penalties, but then they got hit with some penalties, missed the field goal on their first drive, but came back, and it was that big pass from Espinoza to Hobbs that set up the Devin Jackson touchdown run. Offensively, kind of a mixed bag. That was all under Nate Espinoza. So far, with Zach Lewis in there, offense has not moved much. As for this Grossmont team, they play 3 quarterbacks. We've seen 2 of them so far. One of them, who we've seen, Joaquin Quintana McKinney, he's left the game twice. So I'm not sure. I don't even see him on this. Do you see him, Ryan? On the sideline here?
Not at all.
Oh, he is. He's right here. He's got his pads off. So that could be a indicator that his day could be done. He took a couple of big shots, and he may be done for the game. We'll see. There's always a chance to be reevaluated at the half, but he does not have any pads or a helmet. Hands on his hips. Still has his jersey on, however. Here's Arthur. 5-step drop, delivers near side. Nice catch at the hash mark. Colbert balls out, picked up by the Rustlers near sideline. Was that Kramer with the forced fumble? Or Branch? Branch, that was Branch with the forced fumble. Branch is having himself a day so far. Oh, wow, this one's coming back. So personal foul against the Rustlers, roughing the passer. You like to see this defense running around, flying around, Ryan Osborn, but you don't like to see the penalties, of course. 14:50 left. Coming up at the half, it'll be the Ryan Osborn and Ed Ford Variety Show. They will be taking you through California Community College football. So Arthur under center, hands it off Burnett, and he's hitting the backfield. Not really able to get started there. Let's see, they give him across the 40, they give him across the 40, so they give him about a yard. But I tell you what, this Rustler defensive front is keyed in on this run game, as they have been all season. You can talk about different things that have not gone the way of the Rustlers so far this year, but one thing that they have done consistently has been very good against the run. For a good portion of this season, they weren't allowing opponents over 100 yards per game. Now they're at about 107, but still elite defensively against the run. Here's Arthur. 5-step drop now, rolling far side. Outside the far hash, sacked from behind by Branch. The big day continues for number 21. He's got a big quarterback hurry that knocked out the quarterback earlier. Pick up a sack there, had a forced fumble that was wiped off the board, but he is flying around today. Branch, the sophomore out of Lakeshore, Michigan, flashing today. And he's had his moments. Remember last year, Ryan Osborn, he had quite a few moments. This year, kind of a mixed bag, but he came to play today. Of course, the sophomore hoping to get one more game in. And another delay of game. I don't think I've ever seen so many delay of games.
Well, and I think it goes back to what you were talking about, Rahshaun. It's game 10 of the season. At this point, the offense has to be able to get those off.
Which
even
game
when
is
there's
it?
Or yeah, game 10, yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
You had me checking my math for a second.
Yeah, you know me, I'm just being silly. Yeah, I'm just emphasizing your point. It is game 10 of the season. You're absolutely right.
Those are penalties you just simply can't afford to have this late.
I mean, sometimes you blow a timeout, but neither of these teams have done so to save the delay of game. Here's Arthur, throws it near side, going upstairs to make the catch is the wide receiver Steele, but Jonathan Earl right there on top of him at the numbers at the 30-yard line. So that bubble screen goes for nothing, and here comes the punting unit once again for Grossmont. Defense flying around. I like the energy I'm seeing from the guys in Kelly Green today, Ryan.
And again, Branch gets an assist on the tackle there.
He's everywhere. He's everywhere. Shout out to Lakeshore, Michigan. Big day for Michigan, huh? You got Branch doing his thing here. You got the Wolverines and the Spartans battling. I don't know if is that game over yet. Michigan won big. And Branch nearly blocks the punt there as Jackson comes up and makes the catch inside the 40, gets it up to about the 45-yard line of the Rustlers, and that's where they'll start first down and 10, going right to left. 12:01 to play here, second quarter. Golden West 7, Grossmont nothing. Of course, remember going down there last year for a day game at Grossmont High School, and a lot on the line, Ryan. And we made the trek down there to beautiful San Diego, and it was a great trip, resulted in a win. The Rustlers ended their 3-year bowl-less skid by winning that game down there and clinching a bowl berth. Bowl game didn't go that great against Cerritos. A lot of missed opportunities there, but you want to get there. You want to have a chance. So 2 backs now for the quarterback. Espinoza's back in there. Bobbles the snap, but gathers, delivers far side, outside the numbers, midfield. And getting inside of Griffin territory is Casey Carr, tackled around the ankles at about the 46-yard line. So give them about 8. Second down and 2 coming up. Casey Carr. '28th catch of the year for him. Under an 11.5 to play. They fake the handoff to Jackson. Espinoza keeps it himself off the right side, tackled at the numbers at the 40-yard line. That's going to be enough for a first down. So pickup of 6. They actually take a yard away there. They mark them down at the 41. So a pickup of about 6 there brings up a first down and 10 for the Rustlers. And Lewis back in there at quarterback. He's got 2 backs with him. Morant to his right. Jackson to his left. Ball far hash. Hand off to Jackson. Right side, outside the numbers. Lowers his shoulder at the 35-yard line and gets out of bounds. Jackson running hard as he does every single time he carries that rock. They mark him out of bounds at the 33-yard line. He picks up 8, 2nd and 2 coming up for Golden West. And now Espinoza back in there. Update from El Camino. Cerritos has gone on top 14-7 in the Milk Can game. So Rustlers need a win today and a Cerritos loss to clinch a bowl berth. Espinoza steps up, points out the protections. Morant playing musical chairs in the backfield. Espinoza takes the snap, delivers a spiral deep down the field over the middle, incomplete. He overshot his man, Atencio. Fell incomplete in the back of the end zone. Emmanuel O'Carey, a freshman out of San Diego Lincoln High School, on the coverage there. 9:57 left in this second quarter. So we're watching this game, doing some scoreboard watching as well. Jackson in the backfield. They go with the stretch play outside the numbers. A hurdle at the 30-yard line, and Devin Jackson is taken down at the 28. And that's going to be another first down for the Rustlers. Under 10 to play. I think Jackson has provided so much for this offense. I think go all the way back. Really, Ed Ford, you were there, right? That West LA game, and it just, he's just taken over from there. It's been a huge shot in the arm for these Rustlers. Espinoza flushed out of the pocket, going to tuck it and run. A flag comes in as Espinoza runs out of bounds at the 25-yard line, but let's see here. Flag thrown near the line of scrimmage. Very physical, very penalized game here. Holding against the Rustlers. Got to clean these up, Ryan Osborn. Got to clean these up.
Especially if you want to have sustained drives. We saw it in week 2 of the season for Golden West, in which every time they had a long drive of over 20 to 30 yards, they would hurt themselves by having these holding penalties, delay of games, false starts, and it stopped full drives. If you're Golden West, as you said, not only do you have to tune that up, that has to go away completely.
They stay with the ground. It's Morant, and Morant grabbed around the waist and pulled backwards there by this Grossmont defense. And that was Anthony Jordan. Tell you, Jordan and Sola, a couple dudes here for this defense. I mean, all their main guys, you've heard their names so far today. Anthony Jordan, he leads the team in tackles. Sola leads the team in sacks. We talked about Tanu earlier today. He leads the team in pass breakups. And Robert Whitehead, he's flashed as well today. He leads this team in TFLs and interceptions.
Get off the field!
So there's a substitution infraction against the defense.
Second down at 13.
Approaching 8.5 to play here, second quarter. Morant lines up to the left of Espinoza. Ball far hash. 2nd and 12. 3 wide receivers. Atencio on the slot near side. Lined up on the near hash. Play fake. Espinoza going to chuck it up downfield. Has Atencio. Incomplete. Just out of his reach in the back of the end zone. Nice coverage there by O'Carey. And we got a 3rd and long coming up. You see Espinoza taking some shots down the field.
Well, one thing that Nate's been noticing is that Grossmont, as soon as the play begins, they drop into single high coverage, so they don't have that extra safety to be able to help up top.
You've seen a lot of man from these Grossmont DBs. Here's Espinoza once again. Tries to get out of the pocket, but he can't. He's sacked back near the 45-yard line. Big sack there by Sola, the sophomore out of Morris High School. Morris, of course, the alma mater of MLB All-Star Adam Jones and World Series champ Quentin Berry. A performing arts school, if you could believe it or not. This brings up a 4th and forever. Here comes Isaiah Palmer in, rugby-style kick. And he's just going to kick this one, a low-line driver, takes a bounce at the 20 and rolls inside the 10, inside the 5, and down at the 1. Beautiful kick by Palmer. Beautiful coverage there by the Rustlers as they were able to get down there and stop that one from going inside of the end zone for a touchback. Javion Bird there, 41 yards on the punt by Palmer. Bird gets down there and downs that ball inside the 5.
And again, one of the keys to that rugby-style punt is you want it to go as a low-line drive. So that way when it hits the floor, it still has that momentum transferring forward rather than up and into the air.
Once it takes that bounce and get that nice little roll, you're in business. What do you think? These Rustlers pin their ears back here defensively and try to get 2 points here? They go straight ahead. Ball's out. That ball is loose. And the Rustlers have it.
That ball never.
Brighton Levy with the fumble recovery.
That ball never made it into the backfield. It hit the side of the center's right knee and dropped immediately to the floor.
Unreal. So prime field possession here. So what alternative events here for these Rustler special teams? Looks like they're bringing in the big house backfield. Or not. Steven Jackson, Espinoza be out of the pistol. I thought we were going to see Malo and the boys come in here. Instead, it's going to be a 3 wide receiver set out of the pistol. It'll be Espinoza. Ball in between the hash marks. Jackson right behind him. Turns around, hands it to him. Hurdles up and over and into the end zone. Second touchdown of the afternoon for Jackson. Touchdown, Rustlers. $13-0 Golden West here, 7:05 to play in this second quarter. Atencio to hold for Max Casper. The left-footed kick is through the uprights. And the Rustlers' lead is now 14-0 with 7:05 to play in this first half. It's interesting, right? We always talk about shotgun and how everybody's in the shotgun formation now or in the pistol, right, Ryan Osborn? So you get in a situation like that, you say, well, you know, you're pinned deep back into your own zone, you know, why not get under center? Grossmont actually does go under center there, but they have some issues with the quarterback-center exchange. And much to the delight of the Rustlers, they're able to recover the fumble at the 1-yard line. Tough sledding here for Grossmont. That's a tough one, and I think if you, I'm not an expert on all things Grossmont Griffin football by no means, but you could imagine that could kind of be sort of a microcosm to how this season has gone for them. Michael Jordan, the head coach for the Griffins, 30th season overall, his 14th year as the head coach. And Malik Steen going to take this kick at the 10 outside the numbers and gets it up to the 20. And look out, there's some players need to be separated on the far sideline. This has been a really physical game, really chippy game here, Ryan. You would think it was a rivalry. I don't know that I've seen the Rustlers fight this much with OCC.
Honestly, I think the last time we saw this was last year against Grossmont.
Yeah.
Where we had 6 different unsportsmanlike conduct penalties.
You have a memory like an elephant, Ryan Osborn.
Well, it's just one of those games where there were so many flags that it kind of sticks out.
Yeah, man, this is shaping up to be to be like that as well. There have been quite a few flags in this one. So Arthur still in there at quarterback. Turns around, hands it off, nowhere to go. Alex Reich gets in the backfield to get the TFL. Jordan Chambers getting back there as well. As it's been a tough go for Jarius Burnett. He had 10 carries, just 2 yards last week. He's having a rough one here today, too, against this Rustler front. Seeing a lot of things from Grossmont that you just don't see in football today, right? Huddles, snaps under center. Unreal. Arthur crouches under center, takes the snap, 3-step drop, delivers near side. Pass is going to be caught outside the near hash mark. Now coming back outside, reversing field outside the numbers is Colbert on the reception. He ran a lot to pick up 6 yards. He must have ran about 20 yards on that play, Ryan. Most of it east and west, however. So a 3rd down and about 6 coming up as he picked up just 4 yards on that play. The tailback is Bruno Prosper Canum. Jordan delivers near side, climbing the ladder, and the ball goes right off of his fingertips. That's Steele, the receiver. Sutherland there on the coverage, and that brings up a 4th down for the Rustlers. I beg your pardon, J.J. Young on the coverage. As we approach 5.5 to play in this 2nd quarter. Not really much of a flow or rhythm to this game, Ryan. Would you agree? Or?
No, I agree with you. I mean,
Kinda.
both of these two teams, it just seems very methodical.
This snap dribbles, but a booming kick by Browning. Jackson catches it at the 35, makes one move, gets upfield across midfield. Jackson cuts it back at the 30. Jackson inside the hash marks, now back outside the far hash, inside the end zone. Touchdown, Rustlers, but there are about 2 flags on the play, and this one could be coming back. Diego Jackson, if it stands, it'll be his first return touchdown of the season. But Ryan Osborn, I'm not sure. So they get TJ Tawafiti for a legal block in the back, and that would negate the Jackson return. And so the Rustlers will have it 1st and 10 from the Grossmont 30. Far hash, going right to left to begin this drive. Nice run by Jackson, but had a little aid, little illegal aid in getting free. Zach Lewis will return to quarterback for the Rustlers. So 43 yards on the punt return for Jackson, officially after that penalty. Devin Jackson in there now at a tailback. Lines up on the left hip of Lewis. They send a man in motion, and that is right. Takes it on the end around, right outside the numbers near side at the 30. As soon as he crosses it, he runs into the arms of Jordan and taken down at the 28-yard line. So a pickup of 2 there. And here comes the flag. The Grossmont coaching staff to our left were calling for the penalty. Rustlers broke the huddle with 12 men. And there's the flag. Freshman Eddie Williams, tight end out of Catella, was late getting off the field there. It's game 10, Ryan. It's game 10. 3 wide receivers, 1 back. Hobbs, the tight end, puts his hand in the dirt on the left side of the formation. Ball near hash mark for Lewis, who steps up to point out the protection. Takes the snap, chest high, gives it to Jackson. Off the right side, Jackson carrying defenders with him across the 25-yard line and down at about the 23. Give Toten the stop there, but Devin Jackson running hard. $12 yards on the carry. 3rd and 3 coming up here. Lewis hands it off Morant. Tries to stretch play on the right side outside the hash marks. And he's tripped up there, but there's a flag on the play. It's Metters making the stop, but there's going to be a hold against the Rustlers, so this one will be coming back. Wow. John Ojalabi now in there at a wide receiver. You have trips to the far side. The lone receiver near side is Armstrong. Ball near hash mark. Lewis has Morant on his left hip. Steps up to point out the protection. 10 on the play clock. Wipes his hands with his towel. Now takes the snap chest high. Lewis looking near side. That one deflected and falls incomplete. The intended receiver was Armstrong, but the Griffin defense was there.
And that ball hit both of Armstrong's hands as he was actually hitting the floor at the exact same time.
That was Corey Beebe, the freshman out of Kennewick, Washington, getting the PBU there. And so the Rustlers turn it over on, or actually Rustlers will send on the punting unit. Here's Isaiah Palmer in to do the punting. Imagine that rugby style kick is coming. Is there a fake and play here? And there is a fake and play. Palmer going to tuck it and run, but he's not going to get anywhere near the first down marker. He barely got back to the line of scrimmage. Grossmont snuffs that out. I mean, kind of a weird spot, right? Too short to punt, too long for a field goal. May have been better off just sending the offense out there. But that was not to be the case. Wow. There was a small crease there for Palmer, but it closed in a hurry. Here's a quick pass, picked off. Sean Branch, take a bow, young man. It's not even halftime yet. Lakeshore, Michigan, stand up. Nice diving interception there by Branch at the 44-yard line, and that's where the Rustlers will take over. First down and 10. Nate Espinoza returns at quarterback for the Rustlers. Ball in between the hash marks. At the Rustler 44-yard line, going right to left here. Looking for some points before intermission, leading 14-0. They send right in motion from the near side to the far side. End around, now he's going to throw it. Has a man caught, Atencio, inside the 20 and out of bounds inside the 15 at about the 13. But there is a flag on the play. We thought we would see the trick plays coming from Grossmont. But the first one of the day is the Rustlers, but will it stand? Looks like it will. So they were checking for an ineligible player downfield. But after talking it through, they decide that was not the case, so the play stands. So 31 yards on the pass from right to Atencio. Two backs now for Espinoza. Ball far hash mark at the Grossmont 13-yard line. Takes the snap, hands it off Morant, makes one cut in the backfield, a stiff form at the 10, gets inside the end zone, touchdown Rustlers, but there is a flag. Back at the line of scrimmage, or at the 10, I should say. So it's going to be a holding against the Rustlers, and that negates the Morant touchdown. Tajay Morant. An update from Torrance. El Camino and Cerritos are even, 14 apiece in that milk can rivalry game. Of course, if you're a Rustler fan, you're looking for a Cerritos loss. 2:10 left. Two backs for Espinoza. Play fake, three-step drop, pumps, pressure coming, spins out of it, comes near side, outside the near hash. Backpedaling, now throws it off his back foot and out of bounds. Heavy pressure there by the linebacker, Anthony Jordan. Second and 20. Ball at the Grossmont 23-yard line, far hash mark. Espinoza with one back, four wide receivers. Takes the snap, delivers it quickly to the far side, and this is Casey Carr, turns it upfield inside the far hash. He's tripped up at about the 10-yard line. Make it the 11. And so he's near the original line of scrimmage, but it's still going to be a third down and about 8. So he picks up 12 there. So a 3rd and 9. They're calling it. 1:20 and counting left in this first half. Coming up, it'll be Ryan Osborn and Ed Ford taking you through all the scores in California Community College football. Here's Espinoza looking near side. Atencio back in the end zone. He caught it. Touchdown, Rustlers. Are there any flags? No. And David Atencio making the grab in the back of the end zone. First touchdown pass of the day for Espinoza, his 8th of the season. And for Atencio, that's also touchdown number 8. Dave has now caught a touchdown pass in 8 of the 9 games he's played this season. What a sophomore campaign for the sophomore from right here in Huntington Beach, Edison High School. Rustlers penalized there, so they'll move back 5 yards. So Casper will kick this extra point from the 15. Left-footed kick splits the uprights. Extra point is good. 21-0 Golden West. 1:06 left in this second quarter. While we have a moment, let us remind you, Golden West Rustler football on SportsNetUSA.net is brought to you in part by Miller Toyota of Anaheim. Used car deals, new car deals. What kind of car deal you want? Those guys are pretty sure to have it for you. Just go down and talk to the fine folks at Miller Toyota of Anaheim. They're located at the 91 and Euclid, or on the web at MillerToyotaofAnaheim.com. Miller Toyota of Anaheim supports community college sports and education. So 2 Devin Jackson touchdown runs and a Nate Espinoza touchdown pass to Dave Atencio has the Rustlers on top 21-0 here with 1:06 to play in the second quarter. Casper will put it on the tee, kicking right to left here. Burnett and Hudson back deep to receive this one, and Burnett's going to watch it go out of bounds at the 2-yard line. And look out, more pushing and shoving at the end of this play on special teams. Chippy, Ryan Osborn. I like it, though. It's got like a playoff feel to it, kind of. Neither team really able to give an inch. Grossmont's coming here and said, I don't care about the record. We're going to play hard. They certainly have. An unfortuitous center snap exchange did them in for one of the Rustler touchdowns. Aside from that, it'd be a 2-score game right now. Instead, it'll be Grossmont football starting from their own 35-yard line. Lucas Arthur in there at quarterback, rolls near side, throws it, has his man at the 35, and he's going to be hit there immediately. Jonathan Earl coming up and making the stop. Had some help there by Brighton Levy. Catch made there by Joseph Perez, the wide receiver out of Glendale, Arizona. Under a minute to play here. Arthur under center. 3-step drop, delivers over the middle, has him again at the 40-yard line, outside the hash mark at the 45. He dives just shy of midfield, enough for a first down as the clock stops on the Perez first down reception. Ball at the 49-yard line of Grossmont, going left to right here. They got all 3 of their touchdowns, in case you're wondering. 32 seconds and counting. Under center, play fake. Arthur steps up, pressure coming, pocket collapse, and he's going to go down. Steven Cruz there on the sack. Also had some help from Josue Alexander. Loss of 1 on the play. Clock stops with 23 seconds left as Grossmont takes a timeout. Rustlers lead this one 21-0.
And Rahshaun, earlier you were talking about the bad snap. I mean, when you look at it, the turnovers have really done in Grossmont thus far. They've got 2 turnovers, 1 on the snap, the other on a pick, and both of them led into points.
Yeah, absolutely right about that. That was the Sean Branch interception that set up that last touchdown. So that's 14 points off turnovers. Turning points in the turnover, something the 49ers could not do on Monday night. I don't know if you watched that game or not, Ryan. Not bitter at all, not bitter, not bitter. Just pointing it out. So a 2nd and 11, 23 seconds left. Ball at the Grossmont 48-yard line. Arthur has 4 wide receivers, trips to the near side, 1 wide receiver to the far side. 3-step drop, they throw a little wide receiver screen pass, caught by Steele, keeps his balance, stays on his feet, and nice job to get out of bounds at the 45-yard line of Golden West. It's gonna be shy of the sticks, but a great effort there as he picks up about 7, brings up a 3rd down and 5. 14 seconds left. I mean, that bubble was cute, but you got to start taking some shots down the field, you think, Ryan? Trips near side. 1 receiver far side. They go with the tight formation. Under center, Arthur takes the snap, steps up in the pocket, and steps right into the arms of the Kelly Green-clad Rustler defensive line. None other than number 45, V.J. Motlow, picking up the sack. These are all short rhythm throws, at least they're supposed to be. But Arthur unable to get rid of the football. These are all 3-step drops here. Ball's got to come out, but his receivers got to uncover. Nice job by the secondary of the Rustlers.
And I think what you mentioned earlier with having to take a shot here, 8 seconds left, gives you a chance at least 2 if you're able to get the first one off in a decent amount of time.
Maybe.
Or at least 15 yards downfield, get yourself out of bounds, and then you have a shot at the end zone.
Got to be quick, and they have not shown the ability to do that. Ordinarily, I'd agree with you. But from what we've seen here so far in this first half, not too sure, my friend. But you're dead on. So let's see, 8 seconds here. That last timeout, of course, is called by Grossmont. So they have 1 more left. So the middle of the field is in play, but Arthur goes under center. 5-step drop now. They set up a screen. Pass is caught there at the tailback, but Still on his feet, not going to go down. His time is going to expire here. Gets it up to the 35-yard line, but not even time for a field goal or even another play. That was Steen, who came out of the backfield, the wide receiver. They had him lined up in the backfield that time. And it looks like this penalty going to go against Grossmont. Rustlers heading towards the locker rooms already. Let's see. If this penalty is against Grossmont, the half's over. I know the officials are discussing something, so maybe this could be against Golden West.
And Grossmont is calling for their field goal team to jog on.
Oh, wow. Got an untimed down here. He's going over and talking to head coach Michael Jordan right now. So maybe a Rustler was lined up off sides, Ryan. But you won't add that to the end of the play, right? It's either you take the penalty of 5 yards and you have to untime down. And so you'll have it, you know, from the... So we'll have one on-time down. Say Luke Cook was lined up in Grossmont territory. So you move the ball up 5 yards. You negate that screen pass. And so Grossmont will have one untimed down from the Rustler 44-yard line. Trips near side. No receivers to the far side. Arthur under center. Steps up, going to throw it over the middle, caught by Steen at the 25, and that's how the half's going to end. So at the end of the first half, it's Golden West 21, Grossmont nothing.
A little bit of scoreboard watching going on. It's 21-14 over at the Milk Can game between El Camino and Cerritos as we get you back to the voice of Golden West Rustler football, Rahshaun Haylock.
Thank you, Ryan. Nice job as always by you and Ed Ford at the half. It'll be Casper putting it on the tee to start this second half, kicking it from right to left. Rustlers comfortably holding on to a 21-point lead going into intermission, but still another half to play as this one carries to the 1 yard line, and it will be taken outside the far hash mark by Hudson, spins out of a tackle, but then corralled back at the 20 by Sayo Almore outside the far hash mark. And that's where Grossmont will start this second half, first down and 10. Griffins, of course, won the coin toss earlier and elected to defer, so deferring to the second half. They'll have their opportunity here to try to get their first points up on the scoreboard. Griffins in their white tops, white bottoms, hunter green numbers, hunter green helmets with the white Griffin logo on the sides. We've seen 2 quarterbacks already so far for this team. And it looks like we're going to see the third in Sharif Harris Legree. He'll start this second half. The sophomore out of New York. Ball far hash mark, staggered eye. There he's going to hand it off, and going right up the middle is Burnett running hard as he gets back to that outside hash mark and spins before being driven down to the turf at about the 27-yard line. So nice hard run there by Burnett. Picks up about 5. So Sharif Harris Legree, 45% of his passes he's completed this year, 571 yards. That actually leads the team. He has 4 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. So he leads the team in passing yards. Arthur leads the team in passing attempts. And nothing happening there as he's going to eat the turf for the first time this afternoon. Malo got there. Say Luke Cook got there. Sele Pamasa as well. And then, oh, look at that. Number 21, Sean Branch. What a game he's having. This front for the Rustlers has been relentless today. .13.5 to play. Just underway here in this third quarter. Harris Legree under center. 3-step drop, steps up. Now going to try to escape pressure, tucks in and run outside the numbers at the 30, and he tiptoes out of bounds. Just a hair shy of the 35. It should be enough for a first down, however. So you see the running threat that he is. Harris Legree a little bit better with the legs. Arthur a little bit better with the arm.
5 minutes into the third quarter, Cerritos El Camino still 21-14.
Ball far hash mark, it'll be a first down and 10. Harris Legree, they roll the pocket. He throws on the run. Nice catch there as it's snatched out of the sky at the 40-yard line there by the wide receiver, Ronye Stevens. This is his third catch of the season. That's a pickup of about 6. Second down and 4 coming up from the 40 near hash. It's a defense that was bruised and battered last week, was able to eke out a 27-20 win against San Diego Southwestern. We got the San Diego teams to end this regular season. Of course, the battle for the Southern League Championship between RCC and Saddleback will be taking place as they go to the ground one more time off right guard. It's Prosper Canham trying his hand, but that Rustler defense getting to him once again. They give him about 2 yards on the carry there, and that was a hard-earned 2 yards. Devontae Dillard in there on the stop. 3rd and 2. They go with the jumbo formation. They hand it off. Burnett is stuffed. Nowhere to go as he's pushed backwards and does not get to the line to gain. He may have gotten 1, but Kramer was in there, Branch was in there as well, but that front line of the Rustlers has been so stout so far this afternoon. You had Dillard in there as well as Anthony Garcia. And Sele Pamasa coming up from his linebacker position. Sione Meunga as well. As Sharif Harris Legree will lead the offense back out there. 4th down and 2. Same formation. They roll the pocket this time. Harris Legree, a stiff arm, and he has some room on the outside. Outside the numbers in midfield at the 40. And he gets out of bounds just shy of the 35-yard line of Golden West. So they fake the handoff. They roll out Harris Legree, and he does the rest.
And you love the sell there by the offensive line. They had that left guard pull out over towards the right. It brought an extra linebacker and VJ Malo over towards the right-hand side of the line, thus selling everyone out to the strong side. He was able to run it over towards the left. Nobody was there for Golden West to pick up.
They mark him out of bounds at the 40. So a pickup of 18 there by Harris Legree. We're under 10 to play here in this third quarter. 4 on the play clock. They send a man in motion with 2, with 1. The snap is taken from under center. Harris Legree steps up. He was hit as he threw it. And incomplete. VJ Malo and Selu Cook getting in there. They have been flat out disruptive this afternoon. Ryan Osborn. VJ Malo, what a career he's had here wearing the Rustler green and gold. Hoping it doesn't come to an end today. But I tell you what, that freshman campaign he put together last year, first team all-conference, I mean, he was something to watch on the defensive line. The number's not exactly where you thought it would be here this year as a sophomore, but they changed to a 3-4 scheme. But I tell you what, if you're a 4-3 college and you're looking for somebody, this young man could get after it. He applies pressure there one more time, and this one picked off. Selu Cook with the interception. Malu got to Harris Legree and tattooed him. And there's going to be a flag in the backfield. Wow. Is this going to be a roughing the quarterback? Unreal. It looked like he got there as the ball was coming out. And right in the hands of Cook. So that negates yet another turnover forced by this Rustler defense.
And the funny thing for Cook is that he didn't know he had the interception until it was stuck in his arms.
So with the penalty, it'll be 1st and 10 from the Rustler 25-yard line for Grossmont. Did you agree with the call? Did you see it, Ryan?
I did indeed. So even after the ball was thrown, he did get there at the same time, but he carried through even after that ball was let go. It was a good 2 to 3 seconds after the play, and he still took the guy to the floor.
A little extracurricular, huh? 4 wide receiver set. Harris Legree running. Not going to get away from Branch. Actually, he does get away from Branch. He's hit from behind, though, as he tries to get rid of it and just throw it away. But the pressure relentless as, once again, that was Mounga coming in there. So you want to be a college quarterback, huh, Ryan Osborn? It's been a rough day here today for these Grossmont signal callers, all 3 of them. One's been knocked out. Harris Legree just came into the game, but he's been running since he got in at the start of this second half. Arthur's been upright, but no points to show for it. And this front of the Rustlers has gotten after it. Once again, just 2 seconds left on the play clock. Harris Legree doesn't see it, and there's going to be actually get a timeout here. So they get the timeout with 8:56 to play. Timeout comes from this near sideline. Harris Legree did not see the play clock at all, Ryan. But the timeout comes from the near sideline. It comes with 8:56 left here in the third quarter. Rustlers on top, 21-0. And Golden West football here on SportsNetUSA.net is brought to you in part by Miller Toyota of Anaheim, where service and parts is open for your convenience, Ryan Osborn. 7 days a week. Located at the 91 and Euclid and on the web at MillerToyotaofAnaheim.com. Miller Toyota of Anaheim supports community college sports and education.
Cerritos and El Camino have traded scores in the last 45 seconds. Cerritos took a 28-14 lead, but El Camino just moments ago getting a touchdown. They tried to go for 2, didn't end up working.
And in case you're just joining us, if you're a Rustler fan, you're absolutely 100% rooting for El Camino today. Rustlers need a win and a Cerritos loss for a bowl berth next week. Of course, 6 wins would be an automatic qualifier, but the Rustlers, if they pick up a win today, it'll be just win number 5. So you're going to need some help if you're going to be playing next week. So you need an El Camino win, a Cerritos loss, and, of course, a win of your own. Just under 9 to play here, third quarter. Rustlers backed up in their own zone. Harris Legree under center, staggered eye. Play fake, pressure coming from Branch, and he gets the shoestring sack. Second sack of the ball game for the sophomore out of Lakeshore, Michigan.
And I think if you're Golden West at this point, well, more of a Rustler fan than anything because it doesn't affect the field, but I think you're thinking Branch might be up for SCFA Defensive Player of the Week at this point.
He just might be. He is having himself a day. This might be his best game in the green and gold. Twin wide receivers, 1 on the play clock. Harris Legree takes the snap, 3-step drop over the middle, and off the knee of Cody Saval. Looked like Stevens was the intended receiver there, but that ball went right in the direction of number 23 in the green and gold, and unable to even get his hands down there to try to pick it off, as he got popped right in the kneecap. Once again, that pressure, though, Ryan Osborn. And Harris Legree is a guy who can run. We saw him run 18 yards for a first down earlier on this drive, but this time around, the pressure getting to him so fast, he has no chance. Speaking of no chance, they break the huddle with 7 on the play clock. By the time he gets under center, just 2 on the play clock, barely gets the snap off, heaves it up the middle. Jonathan, oh! Nearly picks it off. Wow. He went upstairs with 2 hands and nearly snatched it out of the sky here in Surf City, USA. Ball falls incomplete nonetheless, so it's a turnover on downs for Grossmont. He almost showed off his old wide receiver days trying to snatch that one down.
And what's interesting about that play is that if he picks it off, that ball goes to the 20-yard line. Since it's incomplete, it stays up near the 29, 30-yard line.
So what you're saying is he's a team player.
Exactly.
Ah.
Thinking a couple steps ahead.
So he could have hung on to it if he wanted to, but he's thinking field position for his team. Ah, I see what you did there, Ryan Osborn. Nate the Great back to work. 1st and 10 from the 30. Far hash mark. Tajay Moran. Oh, nearly broke that one. He got up just shy of the 40-yard line, and it was a tackle at the waist made by Jordan. It was just able to get him down. Otherwise, he would have been ghost, as the kids like to say. 9-yard pickup. 2nd and 1. They throw it in the flat. Ojalabi has a block in front of him. Gets it outside the numbers at the 40. Across midfield up to the 45-yard line and tackled out of bounds there at the 45 of Grossmont by Jaden Maters, the freshman out of Lincoln High School in San Diego. As we approach 7:15 to play. 1st and 10 from the Grossmont 46-yard line. They mark him down officially. Pickup of 14 on the play. Espinoza quickly out near side, Casey Carr. And he breaks the tackle, tries to spin out of another one, has some blocking over here on this near side, but too many white jerseys to get out of the mix as he gets it just shy of the 40-yard line. He picks up about 4 there, brings up a 2nd down and 6. 6:43 left in this 3rd quarter. You see some hands on the hips of some Grossmont defenders. Devin Jackson in there at a tailback. 3 wide receivers for Nate the Great. Ball near hash mark. Ball at the 42-yard line, 2nd down and 6. He points to his receiver on the near side, Casey Carr. Now on a stretch play, he hands it off to Devin Jackson, and Jackson is going to be hit as soon as he gets to the 40-yard line. Jordan was there to make the tackle. Jordan and Sola, these guys at linebacker, they just get after it. 2 of the toughest, most hard-nosed linebackers you'll see here in this Southern Conference. Guys just make plays. They give Jackson 3 on the carry, so a 3rd and 3 at the 39-yard line. They have Jackson lined up now as an H-back. Morant is behind Espinoza at a tailback in the pistol, takes the snap, play fake, rolling far side, tries to get outside the hash, being chased, throw it on the run, coming back and diving for it is Hobbs, incomplete. And a 4th down coming up. What do you say? You go for it here? Set out the punting unit. Looks like the punting unit. 5:38 left, 3rd quarter.
I think your defense has performed well enough for you to give them a little bit of a reward here by going for it.
Just awful news. You feel horrible for Tua Tagovailoa, the Alabama quarterback. Hurt earlier today, out for the season. Gave it his all last week against LSU, despite being 10 days removed from ankle surgery. Today, going out with a hip injury. His season is done. And likely Alabama's playoff chances as this punt by Casper is going to take a bounce and be down at about the 6-yard line of Grossmont by the Rustlers. That's Brighton Levy getting down there and downing it. Many expect Tua, of course, to be the #1 pick in next spring's NFL draft, but with a hip injury, you don't know how significant it is, how much it could maybe hinder his progress as he tries to get ready for combines, etc. But if you really want to look at it from a Southern California perspective, Bryce Young, modern-day quarterback, committed to Alabama. Part of the reason why he decommitted from USC is their starting quarterback, JT Daniels, went down with an injury, so he's going to return next season. And possibly the year after that is going to be a false start against Grossmont. So interesting, the domino effect. Quarterback isn't like other positions. Only one can play it. So we shall see. I mean, you'd imagine, you hope all things will be okay. And Tua, if he wants to leave early, will be able to. Still, despite the injury today. But if you watched that game last week, he was certainly laboring as the game ended. Had a really nice, noticeable limp walking off the field, trying to get to the locker room through all of the LSU celebration at Bryant-Denny Stadium. So this one half the distance, even further deep into their own zone. They try to hand it off in their own end zone, and they give it to the tailback straight ahead, Burnett. And he's able to get to about the 5, across the 5, to right back to the 6-yard line, to the original line of scrimmage. So he picks up 3. Jarius Burnett, sophomore out of Warner Robins, Georgia. Remember that little league team, Ryan Osborn from Warner Robins? They dazzled us, certainly. Can't remember if they won or not, but they didn't win. But they
finished in the semis.
Finished in the semis. They certainly dazzled us, though. They send a man in motion, under center. Harris Legree rolling near side, throws on the run to no one in particular, out of bounds, and pass is incomplete. So a 3rd and 10 coming up. I remember watching Todd Frazier as a kid, and now, of course, he's playing with the Mets. But Todd Frazier was a rock star at Williamsport. Sean Burrows, too, also. He played for the Long Beach team here nearby. He had a little bit of time in the major leagues, but he was supposed to be just an absolute star. It didn't really pan out for him. It was a high pick of the Padres, came up, played a little bit. Not sure what happened after that, but the Long Beach Wilson star. It's funny to see where these guys go. Some of them go on to play different sports. Monet Davis going to be playing softball at Hampton University, I believe, as Harris Legree goes down. And it was Alex Reich making the stop. And the first one to congratulate him, Sean Branch. What a team player. So that brings up a 4th down, and Grossmont, no doubt, going to have to punt here, pinned inside their own zone. And an opportunity for the Rustlers to perhaps increase their lead here. What you got, Ryan Osborn? You look a little perplexed here. Did I say something wrong? You're my fact checker. You're my researcher.
You were right on. I was just wondering when you were going to mention the other recent Long Beach Wilson baseball guy.
Well, who am I missing?
That's Mr. Aaron Hicks.
Aaron Hicks is a Wilson guy?
He was indeed.
I did not know that.
He went to homecoming the other day.
No kidding. Aaron Hicks of the Yankees.
Of the Yankees.
Is a Long Beach. This one blocked in the end zone. It goes out the back of the end zone for a safety. Rustlers have been knocking on the door all day long, trying to get to Browning, the punter for Grossmont. This time they do. And it was Chanson Hoopa Wailaloa, the freshman out of Hana, Hawaii, 89, getting in there and blocking the punt. And how about that for the freshman?
And interestingly enough, you look at Branch all afternoon, he was close twice on blocking a kick. The one time that he pops back into coverage, they block the punt for the safety.
So it's 23-0 Rustlers, 3:43 to play here, 3rd quarter. You know, I had a feeling Hicks was from here because I know someone that knows him who's from here. So I figured he was from here. Didn't know where he was from, though, however. Did not know he was a Long Beach Wilson guy. Wow. See, that's what Ryan Osborn brings to the broadcast guys. Sure, he spoiled us during the 2018 campaign. Is now, of course, going on to do bigger and better things. We appreciate you pinch hitting today for the injured Andrew King. Maybe a little conflicted, Rustler fans. You're rooting for El Camino today. You may be rooting against them next week if they're able to win. Rustlers and the Warriors, a potential bowl pairing next week. And that game probably will be down in Torrance at beautiful, refurbished Murdoch Stadium. It is a beauty. You kind of missed the old bowl setting there, but it is a really, really nice stadium. Here's Levy taking it at the 30 off the free kick. Gets it outside the numbers at the 40. Tries to cut it back 45 up the sideline far side, and he's pushed out of bounds. And at the end of the play, a little bit more pushing and shoving between the Rustlers and the Griffins.
And you were mentioning Cerritos and El Camino. El Camino just got a field goal, so they have brought it to a 4-point game, 28-24 with 2 minutes to go in the third.
That's what we want to hear. We need a Cerritos loss and, of course, a Rustler win in order to be playing some football next week and making it to a bowl for a second consecutive year. While we have a moment, I want to say hello to Mrs. Mitch. Hope all is well with you up there up north, NorCal, and appreciate your continuous support of us here on SportsNetUSA.net throughout the years. Screen pass here, Morant, nice flick there by Espinoza. Morant with Green across midfield and just shy of the 40 of Grossmont. How about that little sidearm action from Nate the Great? Oh, he's a crafty one. Yes, he is. Gets it up to the 41-yard line. Almost like a shortstop trying to turn a double play there. He dropped it down. Small little window there. 1st and 10 for the Rustlers inside Grossmont territory. Griffin 41-yard line. Ball far hash mark. Espinoza going to keep it himself. Gets outside the far hash and gets down, and a late flag comes in. Our white hat today is Terry Bernard. And he's been busy today. Holding against the Rustlers. So this one will move them back into their own territory, on the other side of midfield at the 49-yard line. Espinoza has Jackson on his left hip. Twin wide receivers, ball far hash mark. Steps up over the middle. Oh, caught! What a beautiful catch. Ball thrown behind him as he was going down to the turf, and somehow, some way, Branson was able to haul that one in. 38-yard line of Grossmont, a pickup of 13. And it brings up a 2nd down and about 7 for the Rustlers. Going right to left here in this third quarter as we approach 2:10 to play. Espinoza tells Jackson to park directly behind him. Ball far hash. They send Atencio in motion. They fake the end around. Espinoza steps up, back shoulder. Incomplete. He had Hobbs up the far sideline. But them two unable to connect. Whitehead on the coverage. Under 2 to play. 1:55 left in this third quarter. Third down and 7 for the Rustlers. Ball at the Grossmont 38-yard line. Far hash going right to left. Tajay Morant, the tailback. Parks to the left of Espinoza. 3 receivers near side, 1 to the far side. 3-step drop, quickly far side pass, caught by Wright outside the numbers at the 30-yard line, and falling out of bounds he does at the 29, enough for a 1st down. Pickup of 9 there, and a 1st down for the Rustlers as they quickly get on the ball. Twin wide receivers now for Espinoza. Takes the snap, belt high, delivers it quickly. Far side, Atencio gets around 1 defender, but he's grabbed from behind before he's able to get to the 25-yard line. Tackle there made by Tibu Bangura, freshman out of Federal Way, Washington. 3-yard pickup, 2nd and 7. Ball at the 26. 2 backs for Espinoza. Under a minute to play. Pump fake. Now he delivers it sidearm out far side to right outside the numbers. And he catches it at about the 20. And he was wrestled out of bounds. And it's probably going to be a late hit here.
You saw Espinoza, the initial pump fake. He was going to go 3/4 arm, normal throwing motion. But then he realized he had a hand in his face. And that's when he side slung it.
Had to drop it way down. Richard Wade there on the coverage, and it looked like he continued to try to wrestle with right as they were out of bounds. They say 19 Whitehead, but I'm pretty sure it was 20 Wade who was on the coverage there. Nonetheless, it's a penalty against the Griffins, and the Rustlers will have it 1st down and 10 at the 11. Going in. 37 seconds left in this 3rd quarter. Play fake. Espinoza steps up, delivers near side, incomplete. Looked like Carr was the intended target there, but there's a flag in the backfield. Brian Landaverde, freshman out of Santa Ana, called for a holding.
And at the half, but for Golden West, they were called for 13 penalties for 114 yards.
My.
And that's just increased here.
My. I mean, 13 penalties combined would be a lot for a half. They move this one back to the 21. Espinoza out of the pistol. Carr in the slot near side. Stretch play to Jackson. Comes outside the hash near side. 20-yard line. Tries to turn the corner, but ran out of bounds. Let's see where they mark him out at. Looks like at about the 15. So that'd be 6 yards on the carry for Jackson. And it looks like that play will take us to the end of the 3rd quarter. So after 3, it's Golden West 23, Grossmont nothing, as you're listening to Golden West Rustler football right here on SportsNetUSA.net. Rahshaun Haylock alongside Ryan Osborn. Ed Ford manning the controls. Rustlers fighting for a bowl berth here. Of course, they need a win and a Cerritos loss to be able to try to qualify for a bowl to be playing next week.
Speaking of Cerritos, they just scored a touchdown, 35-27. So El Camino had gotten another field goal to bring it to a 1-point game, but that's when Cerritos got their touchdown immediately following.
Rustlers playing for a bowl berth. Cerritos, of course, playing for a bowl berth as well, and so they don't want their season to end today either. So they're certainly putting up a fight in a rivalry game against El Camino. So the Rustlers will flip fields, going left to right now to start this 4th quarter. So a 2nd and 14 from the 15-yard line. Ball far hash mark. Devin Jackson behind Nate Espinoza. Now he moves to his left. Carr, the lone receiver, to the far side. Trips near side. High snap. Espinoza looking far side. Back shoulder. Carr at the pylon. End zone. Touchdown, Rustlers. 2nd touchdown pass of the day for Nate the Great. And it's now 29-0 Rustlers. Tremendous execution there to start this quarter as Casey Carr catches his 3rd touchdown of the 2019 campaign. Casper in for the point after. Atencio to hold, high snap, hold is down. Left-footed kick is good. Rustlers 30, Grossmont nothing. This is Golden West Rustler football right here on SportsNetUSA.net. Tremendous execution there, Ryan Osborn. John Shipp dialing up a play, and Nate the Great able to execute it to perfection. And how about the grab there by Casey Carr?
Yeah, and I think when you look at Carr, he immediately got to his spot at the 2-yard line, turned around, and presented a target for Espinoza. You saw Espinoza wait for him to get to his spot and then deliver that football. Credit to Carr for actually showing him once he was ready. You turn around your head, you also square up your shoulders, make sure that you secure the football before looking upfield. All too often in the last, we'll say 5 weeks or so, we've seen receivers try and turn their way upfield prior to receiving that football. Instead, Carr secures it and gets the touchdown.
So here's the kickoff. And retreating back, catching it at the 5-yard line is Burnett. Comes near side, runs over a man outside the numbers at the 30, at the 40. Across midfield, lowers his shoulder at the 40, near side, still on his feet as he knocks through another Rustler inside the 30. And finally taken down there prior to the 25-yard line. What a return there. And you can only imagine some frustration. Burnett not able to find any running room coming out of the backfield all afternoon long. And he took out his frustration on a couple of Rustlers there as he ran through a couple of them, including the kicker. 61 yards on the return there by Burnett. A yard shy of his longest of the season. So it'll be 1st down and 10, Griffins at the Rustler 27-yard line. We've been praising special teams all day, Ryan Osborn, but that's the first mishap of the day. They throw it on 1st down, and that one incomplete as it went in and out of the hands of Tenez Davis, the sophomore wide receiver out of Norfolk, Virginia. Davis at the half rallied up his teammates and tried to fire them up a little bit, telling them it's the last time this team is going to be together. Told them to go out there and to play. Whatever's hurting can hurt tomorrow. One back. Snap taken. Thrown. Far side, back of the end zone. Incomplete. J.J. Young on the coverage there against Colbert, who was the intended wide receiver. And that kickoff return by Burnett was 69 yards. That is his longest of the season. His previous was 62, but what a run there, setting up this great field position for Grossmont, but so far unable to take advantage of it. 3rd and 10 now from the Golden West 27-yard line. Ball near hash going right to left. The tailback is Javier Jimenez, freshman out of El Cajon. Harris Legree under center, sends a man in motion. That's Davis going from the near side to the far side as the play clock expires. Game 10, Ryan Osborn.
This is the 5th delay of game that we've seen today.
Unreal. Game 10. So it's going to be a 3rd and 15 now from the 32-yard line. Having a big running back with speed as a kickoff returner is dangerous. They can lower their hair just like Burnett did that last time. Here's a quick pass out to Steen. Has a block, makes a man miss, stutter steps 25-yard line, but gets nothing there. Beyond that, Araya in there along with Chambers on the stop. Also getting in there was Dakota Hart, freshman out of Anaheim. So that brings up a 4th down. Interesting play call there. You go with a bubble on 4th and 15. This team is screen happy. And that was a concern of the Rustlers coming into today. How would they be able to handle the screen game for Grossmont? I'd say so far they've done pretty well. So ball back at the original line of scrimmage. So 4th and 10 coming up from the Golden West 27-yard line. Harris Legree under center, sends a man in motion, has one back. Burnett takes the snap. Pressure coming in his face. He throws it right at the feet of Burnett, incomplete. And it'll be a turnover on downs. Reich was coming off the edge uncovered. And he blew that play up in a hurry. Harris Legree, although trying to set up the screen, didn't have time to do so at all because number 27 was coming off the edge untouched. 13:32 left in the 4th. Rustlers on top 30-0. So they withstand the long return by Burnett, and the defense holds. Espinoza has a seat as Zach Lewis returns to the game at quarterback for the Rustlers. 1st and 10 from his own 27-yard line. They give it up the middle, straight ahead to Jackson. And Jackson across the 30 to about the 31-yard line, and that's a pickup of 4. Look at this Rustler schedule, and of course still a lot to be had, a lot of business to be attended to down in Torrance. Play fake. Here's Lewis going to run it himself off the far side, outside the far hash, and he gets beyond the 35-yard line and tackled from behind. But there's a Grossmont player who's injured at the end of that play. The tackle was made there by Robert Durami, but there is an injured Griffin on the play.
And speaking of Torrance, Cerritos El Camino still staying pat at 35-27, 2 minutes gone in the 4th.
So it's still a 1-possession game. But obviously, if you're the Rustlers, you'd like to see that score flip. And if you look at the schedule, and of course the loss to Fullerton, but the COC loss is one that you go back and you think about, considering how Rustlers played maybe their best half of the year, that first half. They had a lead going into the locker room at halftime, and then the whole thing just flipped in the second half. Similar to Mesa, too. I mean, that one just got out of hand in a hurry, almost like when we went down there last year, Ryan. And it's like all of a sudden, whoa, what happened? Is the Rustlers were leading that one, and then it's a tale of 2 halves. Second half was just dominated by San Diego Mesa. Those are 2 games you kind of circle like shoulda, coulda, wouldas. You take care of business against those 2 teams, or even one, and you're much better situation now. The injured Griffin is able to walk off the field under his own power. That's Michael Toten, the defensive lineman who was shook up. Freshman out of El Centro. Here's Todd J trying to find some space on this near side. He's taken down. Tajay barely got back to the line of scrimmage on that one. 12:15 left.
El Camino has just scored a touchdown, 35-33.
Oh, wow. Maybe you go for 2 here, huh?
So El Camino, 35-33. They're down by 2.
Play fake. Lewis delivers far side, and that's Diego Jackson running strong, and Jackson outside the numbers on that far side. across the 45-yard line, and he's close to a first down. And they give it to him. Just shy of midfield. He got out of bounds at about the 49-yard line. So first down for the Rustlers. Don't see Jackson use much on offense. Remember, Rustlers were sweating up in RCC, thinking that if something happened to Zach Lewis, Jackson may have had to come in at quarterback. 11.5 left. Ball far hash. Lewis wipes his hands with his towel now, takes out his mouthpiece, steps up to change the protection, moves Morant from behind him to his left. 10 on the play clock. Takes the snap, chest high, looks over the middle and in and out of the hands of Branson, who delivers a shot to the defensive back who was coming in for a shot of his own but held up, but Branson still lowered his shoulder. Now, if that were the other way around, Ryan Osborn, that would have been a flag. I wouldn't have been mad if Branson would have got flagged then. Right?
Yeah.
Had the defender continued and not let up there, he definitely would have got flagged for unnecessary.
Exact same situation. Ball doesn't get caught. Nonetheless, it still would have been, as you said, unnecessary roughness, defenseless receiver.
Here's Tajay Morant with some room outside the numbers, and he spun down at the 40-yard line. But a flag is back near midfield, and this one could be coming back. Holding against the Rustlers. This time the guilty culprit is Enrique Canazales, freshman out of Las Vegas. Rustlers beat up on the O-line. Under 11 to play here, fourth quarter. That's the 17th penalty for 159 yards for Golden West this afternoon. Pressure coming. Lewis gets rid of it quickly. They set up the screen, but Griffins all over that as Bronson hit immediately. Nice job there defensively by the Griffins. Looked like that was Sutherland that came in there being disruptive.
As if things couldn't get any crazier over at Cerritos. 97-yard kickoff return for a touchdown. So it's now 42-33 Cerritos.
Unreal. It's like the game I was at last night, Mission Viejo and Servite. Every time Servite got a little bit closer, Mission did something to kind of calm their excitement, including going on a 99-yard touchdown drive last night. Peter Costelli, didn't know he can run like that. He played exceptionally well last night. Here's Lewis, pressure coming in his face, throws it over the middle, incomplete. He bounces it at the feet of Ojalabi, almost like a hook shot pass there. It looked Lou Alcindor-esque as the pressure was coming in his face, and he was hit there by Jalen Tanu, bringing the pressure on the blitz. And so that brings up a fourth down, and it will be punting time for the Rustlers. Peyton Monson goes back to the 25-yard line to field this punt. Casper takes the snap and gets rid of it, but it is a shank. It got across midfield, but he just mishit it and dribbles out of bounds before getting to the 40-yard line of Grossmont. No return. So Grossmont will start this drive in pretty decent field position. And they'll also do so with a new quarterback, as Sharif Harris-Legree will give way to Lucas Arthur, who will return to the game. So we've seen all three quarterbacks. In case you're just joining us, the starter, Joaquin Quintana McKinney, was knocked out of this game earlier today. Arthur under center. Everybody moved except the center. The ball squirted out. Arthur recovered it, but it looks like the play was blown dead prior to that. Looks like going to be a false start against the Griffins. Terry Bernard, quite the comedian. False start on several offensive players, and that's a quote from our white hat here today. He's been busy, but clearly he's kept his sense of humor, Ryan Osborn. This moves him back to the 40. 1st and 15, Grossmont from their own 40-yard line. Arthur under center. He has one back. Steps back, now steps up in the pocket, hit as he throws near side, and that goes way above the head of Steen, the intended target. J.C. Montgomery, the freshman out of Trabuco Hills there on the coverage. Also Richard Manuzzi, freshman out of Kailua, Hawaii. I think Manuzzi's a guy who, you're looking ahead to 2020, he might be a guy you hear a lot from. He flashed at times this season. He may be ready to take on a much larger role this time next year. Almost 9.5 to play, 9:34 to be exact. They send a man in motion, pump fake. Now they deliver in the flat to Davis, who was the motion man, and he gets nowhere. Driven backwards in a hurry. Leading the charge there was Mulugeta, the freshman out of Seattle, Washington. A huge loss here for Grossmont. Loss of about 5. Third down and 20. What do you think Coach Jordan's got dialed up for this one? Arthur takes the snap, steps up, throws it right to a Rustler. It's picked off at the 40-yard line. Make that the 45-yard line. But it went right into the waiting arms of none other than J.J. Barajas. There wasn't a white jersey near him. There's a flag on the play at the end of the run. It looked like the quarterback, Arthur, may be down. Is that him? Oh, boy. That's not good. Normally those sudden change guys try to go after the quarterback. This might be the second quarterback the Rustlers put out of this game today. Don't. Wow. Wow. So Devontae Dillard, freshman out of Concord, North Carolina, the linebacker, plays on the D-line as well. Gets called for a penalty here at the end of the run, the unnecessary roughness. And in the eyes of Terry Bernard and his crew, it's an ejectionable penalty. So Dillard kicked out of this ball game. And they will add, or subtract rather, 15 yards from the return. So this one will move the ball back into Golden West territory at the Rustler 49-yard line. So if the Rustlers do have to play next week, Dillard likely will not be available. So 8:37 left. Espinoza back in there at quarterback. Hands it off Morant, who'll try the left side. He gets across midfield and taken down just shy of the 45-yard line inside of Grossmont territory. Pick up a 4 there by Tajay. Ball in between the hash marks. Grossmont 47-yard line. Espinoza. Back to Morant again. He's able to slip out of the grasp of one defender in the backfield and get up to the 45-yard line. You hear the oohs and ahs. There was Branson was getting tangled up with Joe Mevis on this near side, and the Grossmont fans wanted some sort of a penalty. Joe Mavis, I beg your pardon, freshman out of Katy, Texas. So no gain, 3rd down and 6. Espinoza, high snap, delivers far side, caught at the numbers at the 40, and able to get a couple of extra yards there before going down at the 37-yard line is Ojalabi. Nice 1st down grab there. So 1st down for the Rustlers as we're under 7 to play here in this 4th and final quarter from Rustler Field on the 2019 campaign. Three receivers, high snap, Espinoza delivers far side, pass caught over there, and the Golden West sideline erupts. And there's a late flag that comes in, some extracurricular activity over there. Was that 82 or 83 that made that catch? It looked like 83 from here, but I don't. 82, that was Michael Sandoval making the catch, and the Golden West sideline just erupted. Freshman out of Tucson, Arizona. And it was a late hit against him as well, and so Rustlers will have it 1st and goal from the 8. Oh. I beg your pardon. 1st and 10 from the 13-yard line. The officials are conferring now. .621 and counting. 2 backs for Espinoza, ball far hash mark. They go with the option, the pitch to Morant. It gets behind him. It dribbles. He picks it up from behind. But a huge loss as he's tackled in the backfield at about the 23-yard line. Loss of 9. O'Carey there making the stop. But it's a tough, looked like a tough pitch to handle there, Ryan.
Yeah, that was wide and about 2 steps behind him.
Tajay not happy at all. So 2nd and forever coming up here. Another false start, several players against the Rustlers. Morant gets it straight ahead on the carry. Tajay Morant into the 2nd level. And just shy of the 15-yard line. Picks up 11, going to be a third and about 14. Approaching 4.5 to play. Lewis in there at quarterback now, keeps it himself, and he's sacked back at the 25-yard line. Sola making the sack. And Rustlers settle for a field goal here as they send out Casper in the kicking unit. This one going to be from 41 from the near hash for the left-footed kicker. High snap. Atencio gets it down. The kick is up and good. What a hold there by Atencio. He wrestled with that one, and Casper kept his cool long enough to be able to sneak that one just inside the far upright. And it's Rustlers 33, Grossmont nothing with 3:44 to play here in the fourth quarter. So how about that? It's not often you give the holder a compliment, but yeah, did you see by chance what happened to Adam Vinatieri earlier this year? It was like a game-winning kick. I can't remember if it was the end of regulation or overtime, but the hold was awful. Laces pointing towards him, and he just didn't have a chance. He missed it so terribly, unbelievably badly, especially for Hall of Fame kicker. I mean, he's had his struggles this year, but I mean, it was the worst hold I'd ever seen in my life. Atencio did a nice job to get that one down. Here's a high end over end kick, and it goes off the hands of Burnett and out of bounds. He'd been better off just letting it go out of bounds. He was trying to make a play there, but he knocked it out of bounds, so instead of having it at about the 35-yard line, it'll be first down and 10 deep inside their own zone for Grossmont.
And Burnett had two options there. He could have let that go out of bounds or kept a foot out of bounds and then made the catch if he felt that he was going to be too far in and stay in bounds. Either way, it would have given the penalty over to Golden West. Over at Cerritos and El Camino in Torrance, it has stayed a 42-33 ball game with 9:40 left to go.
Wow.
Both teams have traded possession.
Rustlers hoping El Camino can come up with some sort of late charge here to be able to get into a bowl berth. Harris Gree back in there at quarterback, runs, throws it up for grabs, and deflected. That one hung up forever. And Saval was there on the coverage. Comes up with a deflection, 3:36 left. As the sun is starting to twilight here in Surf City, USA. No lights here on Rustler Field, so. Of course, we a good amount of time away from that happening, right? Before it completely setting. And we have a timeout with 3:36 left. We have an injury timeout. There's an injured Griffin down on the turf, and that is the wide receiver, Amari Colbert. We're talking about Warner Robins, Georgia earlier. That's his hometown. Golden West Rustler football on sportsnetusa.net is brought to you in part by Miller Toyota of Anaheim. Used car deals, new car deals. What kind of deal you want? They probably got it. Go talk to the fine folks down at Miller Toyota of Anaheim, located at the 91 and Euclid, and on the web at millertoyotaofanaheim.com. Miller Toyota of Anaheim supports community college sports and education. 2019 regular season coming to a close here, 3:36 left. As Colbert is being helped off the field. Rustlers doing their part here today, but definitely need some help from El Camino, who trails right now by 9 in the fourth quarter at home to Cerritos. In case you're just joining us, Rustlers need a win and a Cerritos loss to secure a bowl berth next week. Harris Legree under center. 3-step drop, throws it up for grabs, and picked off. Pablo Araya comes up with the interception. Araya, so you take a look at the replay here, Harris Legree, quick drop, and he just threw it up there. Just trying to give his guy a play, I guess. But Araya was there. And Steen never able to get to that one. Araya had a big game last week with 2 sacks against Southwestern. Comes up with an interception here with 3:29 to play. Nick Kaufman, the freshman out of Germany, in there at a tailback. Nicholas Kaufman, 5'10", 180-pound freshman. And he gets the carry, and here's Nick Kaufman, and almost coughed it up, no pun intended. He's taken out for a loss at the 45-yard line. But you got Reich, who's from Switzerland. They call him Cheese, as in Swiss cheese. And you got Kaufman, who's from Germany. And you look all throughout the SCFA, you're starting to see more and more international players, Ryan Osborn. Game of American football really taking off. 2:45 and counting. Rustlers in no hurry here. Kaufman still in there in the backfield. Going to get the carry again, this time straight ahead. And Nick has those legs moving and gets back to the original line of scrimmage. Maybe got an extra yard or two beyond that. So a pickup of about 4 there. Brings up a 3rd down as we near 2:20 to play. This Grossmont team is going to have its season come to an end after accumulating just 1 win on the year. That lone win came against OCC a couple of weeks ago. But it's been a rough couple of years for the Grossmont program. And we have all the respect in the world for Michael Jordan that he'll get this thing back on track. Here's Kaufman once again. And a tackle made there on the defense by Grossmont that got their sideline up in arms. That was Bruno Prosper Canum, the running back, who's in there playing linebacker now. So season over, guys getting to do different things, play different positions as we approach a minute and a half to play. 4th down, and the punting unit will come back on. Here's Casper. And if, in fact, this is the last game for the Rustlers this season, what a year it's been. You entered this year not really knowing what you were going to get as they send everybody, and it's blocked. Prosper came in with the block. Grossmont up in arms as they try to scoop it, but they just fall on it. But the sideline erupts, and Prosper came in. How about that? The running back comes in and makes a big tackle on defense, and then on the very next play comes up with a pump block. You knew they were coming, Ryan Osborn. And you got to appreciate that. This Grossmont team's had such a rough year. And for them to be able to end this year on some sort of a high note or something they can be excited about. 42. What a time here. And that's why we love sports, right? How about this excitement? I mean, these guys are trailing 33-0, and Still getting excited for their teammates and one another, knowing that it's their last game. For some of these sophomores, maybe the last time they put on pads ever. But Prosper came in, the freshman out of Stokey, Illinois. Coming up with a block there, and here's the pass to Steen, and they're going to try to go for the end zone here. A little wide receiver screen, and still on his feet inside the 5, and all the way down to about the 1-yard line. Malik Steen, the sophomore out of Chula Vista. So how about that? I know the Rustlers want a shutout here, but clock is ticking with 47 seconds and counting, but everyone here is on their feet. This is amazing. Arthur, 3-step drop, delivers end zone, incomplete. Having to dive for that at the pylon was Allen, the freshman out of Las Vegas. 5'10", 165-pound wide receiver. I mean, you would think a championship or something is on the line here for Grossmont. This is phenomenal. It's about as excited as their sideline has been all afternoon. 36 seconds left. Rustlers trying to come up with a shutout. Grossmont trying not to be shut out in its final game of 2019. Arthur under center, hands it off. And Rustler defense is stout as the tailback is stuffed. Was that Sutherland, the safety? Looked like they gave Sutherland the carry there. Wow. I mean, you talk about musical chairs. Guys are playing all over the place. No, I beg your pardon. That was Javier Jimenez. I thought that was Sutherland, 26 who got it, but it was 25, Jimenez getting the carry there, and he was stopped short of the goal line. So 27 seconds left. And a 3rd and goal coming up from about the 1-yard line for Grossmont. The energy in this place just picked up like tenfold, Ryan Osborn. It's unbelievable. Unreal. You gotta love community college sports.
Well, I think you go back to what you were mentioning earlier. For a lot of these sophomores, it may be the final time that they put on pads. So they're happy. They're jumping all around. Over to the right-hand side, you've got different coaches who are asking the offensive coordinator to put in safeties, to put in those 4th-string guys who are sophomores and haven't necessarily had as much playing time as maybe they would have liked throughout their careers, but this is an opportunity for them to run out there.
Yeah, and the same for the Rustlers as well. Got some backups in there as well, a few starters, primarily backups in there. I mean, Rustlers don't have a lot of depth, so. Burnett is the fullback. Arthur, play fake, back of the end zone. Caught. Touchdown, Grossmont. Dobbin, the tight end. Sophomore out of Chula Vista. And you're not going to believe this, Ryan Osborn. You are not going to believe this. For Dobbin, first catch of the season, and it's a touchdown. Unreal. So the backup tight end, Harold Dobbin, comes in and gets the touchdown pass from Lucas Arthur, the freshman out of Loveland, Colorado. For Arthur, that's his 5th touchdown grab of the season. Browning splits the uprights with a point-after attempt. The Grossmont fans that are here are up on their feet and clapping and cheering, and the spirit of sports at this level is rampant throughout Rustler Field here right now. I know the Rustlers wanted to shut out, but Grossmont, you got to give it to them. They were determined not to be shut out in this one and come up with the block punt, and they find a way to get into the end zone.
And as was explained to me just a few moments ago, over to my left, Dahmen normally subs in an offensive line because of all the injuries late in games.
Wow.
So that's why he didn't have any catches so far this season, because he was subbing in at O-line.
Unreal. Yeah, this team has just been battered by injuries this year. And we talked about the starting quarterback, Joaquin Quintana McKinney. He was going to be, they were going to play multiple quarterbacks, but he was thought to be maybe the 1A, I guess, if you will. And he went down early this year with an injury, and it's just kind of been tough sledding for these guys. But even going down to the final seconds in the final game, despite them being just 1-8 on the year entering today, you got to appreciate the fight. And here comes the onside kick, and this one going to go out of bounds, not even going to get to the 10-yard mark. So the Rustler is going to be able to just take a knee here and end this 2019 season with a win. The regular season, that is. But things not looking good over in Torrance. Last time we checked, El Camino was down by 9. They still trail by 9 with 5:11 to play. So El Camino trailing Cerritos. Rustlers need a Cerritos loss combined with this win in order to have a postseason berth this year. Nate Espinoza, what a career it's been for him. David Atencio, another fantastic sophomore. VJ Malo, just been a treat to call his games as well. Jonathan Earl making the transition from wide receiver to cornerback. Hats off to these sophomores. In case this is the final time they put on the green and gold, it's been a treat to call their games and to bring them to you here on SportsNetUSA.net. To all the parents, thank you so much for chiming in and your support of us in the broadcast and supporting your babies in the process. By supporting them, you're supporting us. And so we truly, truly appreciate it. Rustlers take a knee, and the season is going to wind down. Regular season coming to an end here as this one officially has gone final. Golden West 33, Grossmont 7, as the Rustlers improve to 5-5. They get above 500 in Southern League play, finishing the regular season 3-2 in league play. For Grossmont, they fall to 1-9, 1-4. Of course, big championship game between RCC and Saddleback taking place later on tonight. 6 p.m. kickoff for that one. Between those two teams, you talk about a couple of top teams in the nation. That will decide the Southern League, but also some very, very important and significant playoff implications to be decided in that one as well. That should be a good one. Nick Mitchell, certainly appreciate you, Coach. You've done wonders for my career, and so I'm so thankful and grateful to you to be able to be here for yet another season. Coach Cochran, all the coaching staff, Tim Bremen, Denny Johnson, appreciate all you guys as well. Andrew King, get well, buddy. Ryan Osborn, appreciate you for filling in. Matt Rogers as well. Certainly appreciate it. You guys have all been great, and it's been truly a pleasure to be able to work with all of you guys and to call your games. And in fact, this is the last hurrah here in 2019. And also Albert Robles, appreciate you as well, my man. Done a great job. DJ on the ones and twos. You brought a lot of energy to Rustler Field this year. For all of us here at SportsNetUSA.net, Ed Ford, our operations manager, Ryan Osborn on camera here today. Dan, thank you so much for your stats here today. For all of us, I'm Rahshaun Haylock. Rustlers winning 33-7. This has been Golden West Rustler football on SportsNetUSA.net. Good afternoon from Surf City, USA.